last Friday, I know you were away for a couple of days, but your phone would have been busy with the news that Ray Dempsey had stepped down as manager of the Limerick football team. Um, the statement said that his manager team was going with him, but one of those is Mark Fitz, and he was also confirmed as the new manager. So it's kind of hard to say what's going on inside there. But it was probably a union that just didn't work. There was 8 games, only one win that came in the first one against Waterford. Um, some heavy losses, and if you're going by the rumours, it probably came to head against Cork. Now the game against Meath was probably their best performance, which is strange to think that it came after that game. But whatever way it happened, Limerick football have a new manager. They need to win their last 2 games to ensure safety. Sometimes a new manager will bring a bounce with him. Other times it takes time. But I suppose, what was your initial reaction to the news?
My initial reaction was, coming in the middle of a season like this, that this is an unholy mess. And, Ray Dempsey was 8 games into his reign. Jack, and you mentioned it there about rumblings of discontent after the defeat to Cork. And I suppose the margin of the defeat and would lead to rumblings of discontent. And I suppose, but that seemed to have been all parked and put to bed with a very, very good performance against Meath the last day out. When Limerick secured their first point of the league, a point that might very, very, very well save their skin yet in Division 2. But Jack,
Yeah.
it's I spoke earlier on at the outset of this podcast, Jack, about the feel-good factor and what the legacy Liam Kearns left in Limerick football. And in the stick, we've from the heights of from last year. And look, there was no question playing Division 2 was going to be a huge challenge. The challenge was compounded by the fact that you were playing Derry away in the first round and Dublin at home in the second round, the two likely promotion candidates. And it was likely that you were going to have 2 games played and no points. So that is how it transpired. I think the defeat to Louth, like that the performance was good against Louth, but we still came away with no points from RD. Like so, and then you had that horror show down in Cork. But as I said, I thought that was seemed to be put behind us. And that possibly that we'd have turned the corner, because you're in a situation now, Jack, where you're in a 3-way battle to avoid the 2 places, avoid the 2 counties that are to drop to Division 3. You're there with Kildare and Clare, and we play both of them. So the point against Meath, Jack, brought our destination very firmly back into our own hands. Very definitely. I know it might be simple and simplistic to say it, but it is beat Kildare and beat Clare, and you can preserve status. And judging by the performance of Kildare to date in the competition, it should be possible. And we all know the dynamic between Limerick and Clare when form goes out the window, and we don't have fears of travelling to Ennis. But for that to happen, of course, for it to be as simple as that, Derry have to beat Clare in Owen Beg at the weekend. Now, you would expect that would happen. But our destination is in our own hands. Like, lose on Sunday, Jack, we're down.
Yeah.
Because we can't catch Kildare. win on Sunday doesn't mean we're necessarily up. We still have a job to do in Ennis. So you mentioned there about a new manager bounce. It's something that can go either way, Jack.
Yeah.
You might get an instant bounce, or there might be a settling in period. Now, and we wish Mark Fitzgerald the very best of luck. The only plus side I see is that he has been in the system before. He has been in the system up to now. He was part of Ray Dempsey's backroom team, and my understanding is that it's three of there seemed to be a blanket statement that the management had gone.
Yeah,
and we spoke about this off air. I don't think that was entirely correct. In that three had gone. We had Mark Fitzgerald, our Ray Dempsey. There was a selector from Mayo and Anthony Maher. Those three are gone. But it would appear that Sean Downey and John Chalk are still on board. And my understanding is that there may be one or two more added ahead of Sunday. But it's such an important game for Limerick on Sunday. And there's so many ifs, there's so many buts, there's so many possibilities. With a new manager coming in, certainly in terms of the league, it's a bit of a surprise, Jack. Let's face it, that Kildare are in the position that they're in.
100%.
Like they were only relegated last year, and the general perception was that there would be strong candidates to bounce back. And on the first day of the league, Jack, that looked like being the case. When Dublin were very lucky to beat them by a point in Croke Park, and one said to themselves, "Hi, Jesus, Kildare, what's been thought about Kildare or what's been forecast for Kildare is correct." But the wheels really came off the wagon when Cork arrived in Newbridge in the second round. Now they got they got a win in Ennis, and but they've subsequently lost to Derry and Louth. And I don't think from reading, Jack, about it, it's not so much the defeats that will worry Glenn Ryan and his management team, but the type of performance and the manner of the defeats.
They're yet to score a goal.
They're arriving in Limerick, not in a good place, Jack, but they will know the permutations. Win the football match, Limerick can't catch them. And if Clare are beaten if Kildare win the match on Sunday, and Clare lose in Derry, I reckon Limerick and Clare are down.
Yeah, because Kildare have head-to-head.
They have the head-to-head, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a huge game for Kildare, and it's a huge game for Limerick, but they are extremely vulnerable, Kildare, as are Limerick, and there's so much riding on this game. And as you said, we never thought it would come down to this, that Kildare could be in relegation trouble, and Limerick at the same time. So it's a huge game for both sides, but please God, Limerick can get the job done. And one thing we know is Limerick have the players to get the job done. These players haven't, forgot how to play football overnight. We've some of the best defenders in the country, I think. We've some lovely attacking players. The signs were there against Meath. It's just about, if you can deliver a performance like you did against Meath, you'll have that extra bit of confidence. I think Limerick can get the job done. And look, that's what they need to do, because anything else and the good work from last year will be undone.
It's not the green mist descending profusely across my eyes, Jack, but I'm tending to lean towards Limerick getting a new managerial bounce.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you
based on the performance against Meath as well.
And I think Limerick might see a certain man back in the stand, and it'll be the perfect return present if the hurlers can first of all secure a league semi-final place, and the footballers can get a first win of the year and bring their survival hopes to the last day.